Thank you.
Now I'm going to mute everybody but Sharon.
Okay. And I'm going to just say who's here so like a check-in. So Eileen and Judy are here. Yay, welcome. I've got Jody Jacobs. Where's my Jody? There you are. Hi, Jody. Nice haircut, Jody. Sig is here. Hi, Sig. Susie and Howard are here. Hi, Susie and Howard. I don't see Howard. Where is that guy? Oh. And I've got a phone number here, and I'm not sure whose it is. Oh, yeah, who is that? Okay. So we're ready to roll here. Let's say a prayer. Are y'all ready? Someone needs to mute. I'm not sure who that is. Anyway, so praying now. Take a deep breath. Close your eyes with me for just a moment. All of you here, the ladies here, close your eyes as we pray in. Most amazing God, God of abundance, God, source of all that we desire in its purest form. We give thanks today that as we explore these spiritual ideas, that a veil is pulled back over our minds and hearts, so things are being revealed to us about the nature of your abundance everywhere present. We give thanks then for the revelations of this time together. We affirm and give thanks that we are open and receptive to your spirit, revealing all that needs to be revealed for us to live full, happy, peaceful, divinely guided lives. And so we go into this class with a spirit of enthusiasm, excitement, and expectancy. Thank you, God. Amen? Amen, girls? Amen. I've got three ladies here. I've got Jan and Pat and Maya. And Darlene just came in. So, will you all right now, those of you online and sitting here, just set an intention or go into your heart and see what God's intention is for you in being here. And come up with one. So if I might, I'd like to call on you and invite you to just share something that moved you to come to the class today. It might be your intention, it might be whatever comes to you that moved you to come today. So Susie, would you start? Unmute yourself, Susie.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Hi, what got me here? Just because I like to be with everybody, the sense of community, and I know tomorrow is.
Okay. And what
this
about
guy's surgery? So I know you'll all keep him in your prayers. Thank you.
Where is he?
He's doing a puzzle.
Jan, Howard.
Hi, darling. How are you?
Are you hanging in because Susie is?
Of course.
Yeah. You know, going back to you, Susie, and all of us, we're going to just hold Howard in our prayers, not only today, but throughout this week and the coming week. He's going to have a beautiful thing done to his heart by the Wizards of Heart Surgery.
Yes.
So if all of you would just agree with me that we're holding Howard. Can you see Howard up there, girls? So we're going to hold him in our prayers. Okay, moving along here. Jill, would you unmute yourself? What brought you to the class?
I'm here because I've always loved the classes at Unity, and Eric Butterworth is one of my favorite Unity authors, and I'm sure that I can learn, more about spirituality and my own growth. That's a big goal for me. And
Great. Thank you.
that's why I'm here.
Thanks, Jill. Glad to see you today. Sig, what moved you to come today? Sig?
Oh, okay. I'm a perpetual student. I always have been. I don't always learn a lot, but I'm here and I want to learn more.
Thank you. Love your sense of humor. Who was that? That was Sig. Yeah. And Eileen, and then Judy.
I just wanted to let Howard know that we definitely have him in our prayers for tomorrow and have him on the calendar. I've enjoyed every class that we've done so far, and I always learn so much, and I enjoy the camaraderie with everyone and their wisdom. So I'm just grateful to be here.
Thanks. Thanks for that thought about Howard. Judy?
Yes, I feel the same way. I love sharing with people who have like minds, and there's always so much to learn, and I'm really enjoying these classes.
Thank you. Thanks, Judy.
Mhm.
Jody. Unmute yourself, Jode.
Yes. Hello, everyone. I'm here because when I was in Carlsbad, California for 6 summers, I found Sharon in the Unity Church. I was already going to the Unity of Mesa, but I found Sharon and I went every single Sunday and I took a lot of her classes and I enjoyed them so much. I always learned something. But I love the people of Unity Church, have for many years, but I really am determined to feed my soul. And the real reason I'm here, and I'm getting a little more selective about the people that I spend time with, because it's real important to me right now that I have a healthy soul. And I feel that my thoughts that I have are different than, maybe I should just say, majority. But I feel a little different in the world, and I'm wanting to learn how to be how I live and how I share. So that's why I'm here.
Great. Thanks, Jody. So glad you're here today. Reverend Billy Martini.
Oh, I couldn't get in. I don't know what I did wrong, but anyway.
So the question was, what brought you all to the class today?
I love Eric Butterworth. And then this book is great too. I don't know how many times I read it and I can't find it. I must have loaned it to somebody. So anyway, I ordered another one. But I'm doing a prosperity workshop for another group of people in July. And so I thought it would just even help boost my workshop that I'm doing. So,
Great.
and I love classes with you, Reverend Sharon, anyway, and all these people. So
Thank you. Thanks, Billy. And let's see, I think Karen, can you hear me, Karen Haig? Karen may not be audio. I hope she can hear us though. So let's see what's going on with the ladies here. So Jan, what brought you today? Loud and clear so everyone can hear you.
Well, my life has been in a lot of turmoil, and I've been doing a lot of praying, more than I do usually, and I see how my life is calming down, and peace and joy is entering my life, and so I feel like, bring it on. Whatever you got for me, God, I'm ready.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Great, great. Pat?
Well, I just feel like I'm closer to the God I could be when I'm here with people that think like I do.
Great. Thank you. Darlene?
I agree with you there, and I'm on a spiritual journey, a continuing continue to learn. And Forrest and I read the books that I come to class for, because he has a hard time hearing while he's here. But I love unity, and I love it here. I love that you come into our lives here, and I want to tell Susan that she and Howard will be in my prayers, and I'm here for you.
Great, thanks, Darlene. Maya?
Yeah, I could just echo everything that everybody else said. I've been studying the prosperity work since the 80s, and it's part of my morning ritual, and I get great results with it. Lots of really good things have happened, but it's very easy for me to feel like something is stale when it's just me and me. We get tired of each other. So it's just enriched when I, do any study or any class with like-minded people. And I particularly enjoyed the classes for you. So, but the thing that I wrote down that you said when you first asked us about intentions was God's intention for my being here. And I thought, oh, that's a really good idea. I was so into how I want, my feeling, but really more than anything, I want God's intention for me with this, because when my intention and his intention are not the same, his is always better than God. But it takes me a while to slug it out.
Yeah, you're not alone. You're not alone. Now, I'm wondering, you all online, could you hear all the ladies in here? Not at all? Oh, some, not so much. Okay, so if you ladies start responding, because I want all of us to share, because we learn from one another and we enlighten one another as we get into spiritual thinking and spiritual ideas. So I want to be sure that you all online can hear anything that the ladies in here say. So be sure to be in your loudest voice, girls in here. Okay, well, thank you all for sharing that. And I thought, well, why this class now? And here's what I want to say about that. Of all the classes or all of the books I could have suggested or decided on for this, last class at Atomic Healing, Kate Campbell, when I said, well, what do you think, folks? What would you like to do next? She was quick to say an Eric Butterworth book. And he's written a few. In fact, the bestseller among Unity people of his books is Discover the Power Within You. I chose spiritual economics, and I think it may come home a little more when we go through the next slides. I chose it because of all of the energy that we find ourselves surrounded with in our current culture. So if we consider the culture that's going on out there today, there's a culture of fear, and given some other things that are happening out there, not only a culture of fear of sickness, but fear of what's going on out there in terms of the riots and the violence and what the police have done and not done, and what politicians have done and not done. So I want to pull us away from that kind of energy and into spiritual economics and thinking along the lines of a slide that I'm going to get to right now. So I chose this book because I think it has the potential to address what's going on in our culture right now. Okay. Oh, Kathy, it is not. There we go. Okay, I guess I have to hit it really hard. I don't know. The reading schedule, and please do not fret about getting the reading done. If you have spiritual economics, if you have the book, great. If you don't have the book, we have some here. We ordered a few. And if you don't want to have the book, that's okay too, because just being in the energy of a spiritual conversation will be beneficial. So you can take a picture of this with your camera, with your phone if you want, or if you have a pen and paper, write it down. I'm skipping a few pages in there, as you see, between June 17th and the 24th. I've skipped 91 to 108. So anyway, any comments so far? Any questions so far? Gotta move these. So if you look at a definition of economics, it's defined as a social science concerned with the production, distribution, and consumption of goods and services. Any comments there? Okay, so again, economics, the social science, and social science is never exact. Social science concerned with the production, distribution, and consumption of goods and services. So now I'm going to overlay on that. What would spiritual economics be then? Whoops. I guess I got to make my writing smaller. Spiritual economics, then, we might say, is concerned with the production of prospering thoughts, the expression of those thoughts, and the consumption of spiritual ideas and practices. So what does it mean? Here's a question for you. Are you all with me? What does it mean to consume spiritual ideas? What does it mean? What might it mean to consume spiritual ideas? Anybody?
To me, it means that I not only study it, but integrate it, find ways to integrate it so it becomes a part of me.
Right.
And a part of what of me goes out into the world so that there's living proof of it.
Yes.
Learning and using.
Learning and using, consumption, learning and using. Pat or Jan, any comments about it?
That sounds good.
Learning
and using.
Learning and using, okay. Susie, what do you think? Unmute, Susie. Unmute, Susie.
Just a moment.
Can I comment?
Yes.
Wait a minute.
What does it mean to consume?
Yes.
I liken the word to digest. It's not only are you consuming it or you're taking it in, it's becoming part of you. It's
Great, I like that too. Digest, spiritual ideas, digest them, such that they feed you spirit, soul, and body. Thank you, Howard. Susie, were you going to say something? I saw your mouth moving.
No, I wasn't. I was going to say I was distracted at the moment. And anyway, so I'm going to pass right now. Thank you.
Okay, all right. Who else? If you would announce yourself, if you want to come in, unmute and announce yourself. Comments about what does it mean to consume spiritual ideas? Anything, anybody else?
It becomes a part of you.
Becomes a part of you. Very good. Anything else?
Mrs.
This is
Finley.
Jill. Oh, go ahead.
For me, it means walking my talk.
Great. Great. So great ideas about what it means to consume spiritual ideas. Anybody else before I move on? Okay,
This is Jill. I was just going to say, just to take in the ideas and just, to grow and to thrive from them.
Right. And that was you, right, Jill?
Yes.
Great, thanks. So to take in the ideas and grow with them. Great, great. Okay, moving. Whoops. So how would you all, and I have my shortened version, the Cliff Notes on what prosperity is. This is the Cliff Notes, well-being. You all know what Cliff Notes are, right? God, thank God for Cliff Notes. So come on, y'all, jump in. What is prosperity to you? Because actually we're talking about spiritual economics. And if spiritual economics has to do with consuming and expressing spiritual ideas, then what is prosperity? Thank you, Howard.
This is Howard. I just wanted to go back and point out that some of us are old enough to not have had Clip Notes. And so we didn't learn how to cheat in class. We had to study a book.
Thank you so much for that.
Howard, you're not that old.
Oh, yes, I am.
Okay, comments on your understanding of prosperity, and there's no wrong answer. No wrong answer.
Well, my first experience when I got the book was I was living in poverty. I was raised in poverty. I just wanted to get out of poverty. And that was like the predominant. But the way that that book on prosperity takes you through it and changes you, it was doing, like other people were talking about, it was just filtering its way into every area of my life. Yeah. And not only was I lifted out of out of poverty, but as soon as I stopped studying the book, I started sliding back into those old habits.
Yeah.
So that all that full integration had not occurred. So it changed what I thought I wanted, It wasn't just about poverty. I really wanted to feel different, I wanted to be able to see the richness in my life, even when it didn't have anything to do with money, because my life has been...
Hang on a minute, Maya. What's going on?
I want to know the speaker.
Oh, please do, because I want everyone to hear what you all in the classroom are saying, and I'm not so sure they are, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So Billy, would you share next, and then we'll move through online while Mac tries to get this microphone better in here.
So you want my definition of prosperity?
Yes, please.
Okay. My definition of prosperity is knowing God is my source, perfect health, harmonious relationships, work that I love to do that I would even do for free, and all the money I can spend and share. I teach prosperity. That's an easy one for me.
So Billy, I'm going to hang out with you and let's try that out.
Okay.
All the money we can spend.
And share.
Yeah, share.
But that's my last part, you notice. I gave some other stuff at the beginning. I think knowing God is my source is the best definition of prosperity for me that I know. Because without that, without that, the others couldn't follow. The other things couldn't follow.
Right on, right on. Jody, what would you say about it?
Did you say Jody?
I did.
I've really been, I actually got my phone and looked up that word trying to be real clear on what this question is. To me, prosperity is staying connected to my gratitude of all of my blessings. I think maybe that might be how I do prosperity and how I'm grateful for it, because when I focus in that way, there's nothing but gratitude and joy for my blessings. It's all where I put my focus.
Great, great. Thank you for that. Let's see. I want to hear from Judy and Eileen, please.
Judy always says, go ahead, Eileen.
Okay.
I would say that prosperity to me is having all that I need when I need it. So it's like for the past year, especially since I've retired, it's like things are just coming into me like crazy. I mean, I just have everything I want and need when I need it. I just am in such abundance and blessings. And to me, prosperity is abundance.
Thank you. Great, great. Thank you, Judy.
Dittos.
Sig, what would you say? Sigrid? Unmute, unmute.
To me, prosperity is the opposite of lack.
Good.
Prosperity is anything that says that I am not I have and I am not doing without.
Great. Excellent. A woman of few words, but when she says it, they're right on. Karen, what do you have to say for yourself, Mrs. Haig?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you can hear me. That's prosperity. I didn't know you could hear me. Okay, cool. I heard somebody say something about having what I need when I need it. I've watched a lot of people who have quite a lot of physical material things be very unhappy in this time of isolation, focused on when is it going to end? This is too long. This is just going on forever, and I just can't handle it anymore. And I see other people who are saying, well, let's make the best of this. And I think that that's spiritual prosperity comes from the inside and is fed by our God source. I don't know if that makes any sense, but.
Great. Excellent. Yes, right on. Jill, I don't think we.
I can't believe you can hear me.
Yeah. So exciting, isn't it?
Yeah.
Jill, what do you want to say about prosperity? Unmute yourself. Nope. Okay, then. Let's see. I haven't heard from everybody in here. Darlene, what would you say?
Well, like everyone's saying, prosperity is different for everybody. Prosperity to me means peace within.
Oh, great. Great. True. True.
Can you repeat what she said? Can you repeat
Oh, you
what
guys
she
can
said?
hear? Darlene said prosperity is peace within.
Oh.
Yeah.
You're without fear. You believe you'll always have enough.
True. Absolutely true. Without fear, you'll always have enough, Pat said. So prosperity is fearless, right? Or faith-filled.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you. Jan?
Prosperity, I'm learning as I hear every time things that they're saying about prosperity. It's really opened my head. For right now, the only thing that can stand in my way for prosperity is that I need to forgive. And I didn't realize just how much until this past.
Really? How
So,
beautiful.
thank you.
Yes.
Go home right now.
But don't do it. I hope
what Maya had to say. She got us started. Everything.
Yeah.
Connected to everything.
Yes. Thank you. So I hope you all heard Jan. Jan was saying.
Hear her.
No.
Can't we
No,
still?
it'd be nice if you could sum it up.
Well, we've been working on it. Mac and Kathy have been working on getting the microphone in the room here so you all can hear it. But I'll just repeat what Jan said. Jan
Good.
said that for her today, the realization is that she needs to forgive. So prosperity for Jan is to have that burden of unforgiveness erased, gone, which is so true, isn't it? Any shred of unforgiveness clogs the mind. I've always thought of unforgiveness as a catheter on the flow of God's good. So thank you for that. Okay. Anybody else? Susie.
Am I unmuted?
Yeah,
No, you're good.
Okay, someday I'll figure this out. Okay, I just wanted to mention, but maybe some of you know, the daily word today. May I read just one little paragraph about prosperity?
Read the whole thing.
Oh, okay. The title is Give.
Clear.
I don't know how come I got so close. Ooh. Okay, give. I give generously with an open heart. There is a constant flow of giving and receiving at work in our universe. So whenever I make the decision to give, I am also getting something in return. Even the air I breathe illustrates the law of circulation at work. Plants release the oxygen we must have to live, and as we exhale, we transform it into the carbon dioxide they need to thrive. Without the exchange of giving and receiving, neither would survive. I remember this as I give. My generosity fills my heart and helps me realize my prosperity. I open my heart wide to the dynamic flow of life, generously giving what I have to share of my time, my talents, and my treasure. In giving generously, I receive abundantly. The gifts of joy, love, and peace are mine. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. Matthew 6:21.
Thank you. I appreciate that. We all do. Thank you. Thanks, Liz. Okay. Yeah. Okay, I'm moving on. Okay, consider your experience of prosperity. What words come to mind when you think about your own experience of prosperity? You know, we've talked, you all have shared very beautifully what describing prosperity. And so think of an experience you've had maybe recently, maybe long ago, and given your understanding of prosperity, what words come to mind from that experience that you just thought of?
This is Kathy. Mine is that God is faithful.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
This is Jody, and mine is, if I can just remember what I was, let's see. I got it back. It is fearless.
Great. Great. Mm-hmm. Pauses make all the difference. Who else? Anybody else?
This is Eileen. My word would be generosity, because whenever I give out, it always comes back to me. So it's that continual flow of giving and receiving.
The experience that came to my mind, which kind of surprises me, is when I was at college. My hometown is Chicago, and I was attending Michigan State in East Lansing. And every once in a while, like once a quarter, I don't know if this was a plan on my dad's part, but I would get a letter from my dad with some cash in it. And he would say, here's a little spending money, honey. Mom and I are so proud of you. You know, it brought a tear to my eye. I felt so full, so full. Yeah. Who else? Anybody else on words that come to mind or a little story about a prosperity experience?
This is
It kind
Billy.
of expresses what you believe and experience about prosperity.
This is Billy. I have one that is about the flow really too, and blessings. When I first started the church years ago, I had no staff and I was it, right? And there were times when I was really despairing. I mean, you know, wondering if we were going to make it and all that kind of stuff. And every once in a while I'd get a letter at the church, an envelope, and it was from Reverend Joel Baer. And inside this business size envelope would be a little sticky note, and it would say, I love you, and it had a smiley face. It would come to me on a day when, you know, I thought, I can't do this. You know, I just thought I couldn't keep going.
Oh.
And he had to have put that in the mail. He was in Mesa. I was in Surprise. He had to put that in the mail a couple of days before, right? And
Yeah.
it always came on a day that I needed it. And it was just like such a blessing. And that's really prosperity. It really was.
Yeah,
so.
for sure. For sure. Yeah.
Sharon, this is Howard. I've
Hi.
told this story before, but I was in Harbor Freight one day, and this lady ahead of me was trying to get 2 of these free gifts they give out if you make a purchase. And they said, no, you can only have 1. And so I said, ma'am, give me your coupon. I'll get the other one for you. I don't want it. I'll get it when I make my purchase and give it to you. And with that, she held up her cell phone that had Friends and Family coupon on it. And she said, will this apply to him? And the checkout guy said, sure. I was buying a $300 safe. So I got 25% off the safe for just giving her a $1 screwdriver.
Wow. Wow.
That's great.
How our good multiplies coming back to us. Thanks, Howard.
Yeah, leave it to Howard.
Anybody else? Okay.
Yeah, I would like to say something if you can hear me.
Yeah.
Oh, you can hear me. Okay. I was reflecting on what Reverend Billy said, because when you started the conversation about experience of prosperity, I've looked back on my life at the amazing synchronicity of all the pieces being in place in order for things to happen at just the right time. Yeah. And they're phenomenal things that I could never have even conceived of myself.
Yeah.
And so my word is absolute awe.
Say it again. Say it again, Karen.
My word is absolute awe.
Oh, great, great. Awe is such a wonderful thing to have. Awe. Yeah. And the other word you said that for me, when I think about it, is prosperity, is synchronicity. To see the divine plan unfolding beyond what we could imagine. Yeah. Great. Thank you all.
So amazing.
Okay, I'm moving on. So this is from our book. A great idea whose time has come is that there is no such thing as a purely financial problem unrelated to false attitudes and emotions that caused it, or a healthy attitude or emotion that can cure it. Any comments about that? It's true. Darlene says it's true.
It's true.
Yeah.
Living proof that it's true.
Maya says she's living proof that it's true. Anybody else? Okay, I've got a couple other quotes here that I would like for you to consume. My friend Wayne Dyer. I've got to tell you, here's a prosperity story about Wayne Dyer. I was at a conference in Austin, Texas, back when they were doing, do you all remember the Spirit, Soul, and Body conferences? And they would do them all over the country. But anyway, I went to Austin, Texas because my hero David White was going to do a presentation. But I left the conference and I'm at the airport in Austin on my way home. And I see Wayne Dyer walking down the hall. And I don't know what the look on my face was, but it got his attention. And I said, "Oh my God, it's you." And he, because he had just done his presentation. And he's on the phone and he says to whoever he's talking to, he said, "Oh, I've got to go. I've got a beautiful blonde in front of me here that I want to talk to." And he stopped. Here's my point. He stopped and chatted with me for a few seconds, not a long conversation, but here's someone who could go, "Oh my God, who is that crazy woman right there?" But he did not. So talking about how people express prosperity in ways that prosper us, like Howard was saying in his example, and some of the others of you have said. So here's Wayne saying, unfortunately, Wayne is no longer with us, but he's certainly left his mark, big footprints. Abundance is not something we acquire. It is something we tune into. What do you think about that?
Yeah, yeah.
Anything
You can see
besides that?
you can see people who have everything you could ever imagine, and they're so unhappy.
Yeah.
And people who don't look like they have a lot can just be whistling most of the time.
Yeah. Thanks, Karen.
In the prosperity book, I don't know what the exact words are, but it talks about the fact that everything, all this, material abundance, whatever, it all belongs to God, comes from God. It's not really mine. That was kind of startling to me, But the idea of it took a long time, I think, to really gel inside me. But it goes on to say that I'm supposed to be a good steward of this abundance in order for it to grow in my life. That was another whole dimension of my growth.
Well, pause for a moment because you said something very potent. So what does it mean to be a good steward?
Yeah, exactly. All of a sudden, I thought, well, I could do better bookkeeping. I could do a budget. There were these mechanical things that had to do with accounting, record keeping that I could do. But then the other thing was looking at the tithing part of the book where it says that your money should go out, 10% should go to where you get your spiritual growth. I hadn't even considered it. I mean, it was part of it, but it wasn't all of it for me. Finally, I thought, oh, tithing needs to be where my spiritual growth is. And then I can donate wherever I want to other things, but if they're not, so it kept shifting my perspective. And when I would feel like I was struggling with something financially, I would just stop and say, wait a minute, it all belongs to God. God is just letting me use it in order to learn the lessons I need.
Great, great. I hope you all heard that. I hope you all heard that. So Maya was talking about the idea, referring to Wayne's quote here, of good stewardship, the importance of good stewardship. And so I questioned, so what is good stewardship? And she was saying it's taking care of what you have and giving back. I think you were saying that good stewardship is to keep the flow going. What else? Anybody else in here want to say anything before I ask the folks online?
I just want to quickly say that I saw a lady 2 years ago that she had told me how few finances she had, but she didn't elaborate on it. But one day I said to her, I am so impressed. You told me that you don't have much money, and yet I see the abundance. The things that keep coming to you, it just flabbergasts me. I mean, how can you afford to get your new roof put on your house or whatever it is you want, and yet you just do that all like you were very wealthy. And so I've mulled that over a lot, and she told me, and it was giving.
Giving?
Yes, giving to others.
Yes.
Who didn't have as much as she did, or she thought they did.
So this idea of prosperity then for you is giving, but it's also, because I heard you speaking about, it's a matter of, I mean, how prosperous we feel is a matter of perspective. How do I see if this woman talks about I don't have enough money, but you saw that it looked like she did, right?
I saw her exhibit the exact opposite.
Yeah.
But she didn't dwell on that. She
Yeah.
just told me and dropped it, and then I watched her do this and this and this and buy a new house. And, well, it wasn't a new house, but it was a house.
Exactly. Thanks, Jan. Anybody out there? Any comment on Wayne's quote?
Yeah, this is Kathy. I used to be a realtor, and when the housing bubble burst, we lost everything. We lost all of our savings. We topped out all of our credit cards. We lost our home. I thought we were going to be homeless. And I kept on praying. I kept on praying to God for money, just, pay rent, pay mortgage to get out of this. And I didn't feel like I was getting any answers. And it finally occurred to me that I was praying for money to help solve all my problems instead of praying for God to use this to improve my life. And once I made that shift, it had been like 2 years where I saw us going down, 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 down. We can't go any further. But when I made that shift, instead of asking for money, ask for God's will, things start blooming again. And
Wow.
that was a really important lesson for me.
Amen, huh? Amen. For sure. Right to the point. Thank you.
Sharon?
Jody.
Yeah, this is Jody. I'm having an interesting thought that I thought I would share. I think there's a key here which says it's something that you tune into. So if it's something you tune into, then one would need to think about, how do I tune into it? How do I tune into it? But then I thought, oh my goodness, there's another part of it that sometimes happens where it tunes into us. If we're in a vulnerable state or an open state or a health issue that changes us, something that is shifting in us and so forth, I think that sometimes it tunes into us in moments, and I think we can tune in also. But for me, I certainly have been working on for many years, how do I tune into it? And how do I stay open for it to tune into me?
Yes, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So important. How do I stay open for it to tune into me? It reminded me of, well, it reminded me of atomic healing, some of the things that we said in there. And what we know about grace. And I'm trying to recall a quote or something that Charles Fillmore wrote. If you remember it, Billy, chime in here, but it was, essentially it was, no good effort is ever wasted. And, okay, so I'm going to paraphrase here, my recollection. So every good thing we do comes to minister to us in our moment of need. All the good we have ever done will come to minister to us in our moment of need. I loved that one. So thanks for that, Jody.
It's a little bit like what you give out when you come back to you. May not be automatic, but it will come back to you.
It will come back according to the law.
Yeah.
We just can't say where it has to come back from.
Yeah.
We just have to notice when it comes back too, right? Okay. All right. Consider this, I say, a starting point. Accept responsibility for your own thoughts, thus taking charge of your life. That's the beauty and the challenge of Unity's teachings, that it's a spirituality of personal responsibility. In other words, my problem is not caused by what's outside of me. My problem will be how I interpret what's going on outside of me, how I use it, or what's going on inside of me counts way more for my peace than what's going on outside. So, accept responsibility for your own thoughts. What do you think about that?
I think that's totally right. I'm going to say, because if one stays the victim, then, you're not going to have prosperity in your life, I think. And, an example I think that I have is that I had a really rough relationship with my mother. And, I thought she didn't like me, she didn't love me, and all this kind of stuff. But there came a point when I realized that she did love me, but there was something in her life that she really couldn't, she wasn't loved or didn't feel loved or whatever. And when I came to that point, I no longer had to be the victim.
Great.
Of those feelings. And I was allowed and I was able to, to forgive her and to forgive myself.
Yeah.
And that has made my life very peaceful and prosperous.
And prosperous, yes, yes, yeah. Did you, I don't know, did you guys hear Darlene at all? So she was talking about the relationship with her mother and how it was not a good one. And she talked about feeling like a victim and how that is a real block to feeling prosperous or enjoying what all of the content of that concept of prosperity. So prosperity is a gigantic concept. And within that concept, there's a lot of content, and we've been talking about it all this time, the content within that concept of spiritual abundance or prosperity. So being a victim, Darlene was saying, ain't it? And being a victim results from allowing what we feel and believe inside to be the outcome of what others out here are doing or saying or not doing or saying. In other words, I'm at the effect of everybody else. That makes me a victim. Any other comments about this, accepting responsibility? Hi, Howard.
Hi, dear. It reminds me of, I watch so many people that looking for some reason for their problems, like, my parents were terrible when they brought me up. It's not my fault, And until you accept responsibility for where you are, your thoughts, the position you're in, you won't take charge of your life. You'll just sit there and wallow in your own disappointment, depression, negative behaviors. So, and I've watched so many people practically live their whole life trying to blame everything on somebody else and not taking their own responsibility to whatever's happened to them. So.
Yeah, they even blame a lot of stuff on the devil.
Yep, him too.
Well, I'm glad you didn't say her.
Well, It's clear God is a female. The devil has got
Wise man.
Yeah. Thanks, Howard. Any other comments on this idea of our personal responsibility?
I have just one comment. I always like the analogy of using mirroring to reflect back what you're thinking. And
Yeah.
like if you're going to comb your hair in the mirror, you can't reach out and comb it in the mirror. You have to bring it back to yourself and comb your own hair. So
I love that picture. Comb your own hair. Oh God, why didn't I know that years ago? Thanks, Eileen. What a metaphor. Okay. Anybody else here, or I'm going to move on? Okay. Isn't this a great picture? Let's all go there, wherever that is.
Yeah.
Looks like maybe Switzerland. Maybe Germany. Yeah. The question is, what have you changed your mind about that has made a positive difference? So just go back. I mean, we've all been really kind of talking about shifts in our way of thinking and perceiving and seeing things. But I'm inviting you now to just think about one thing, perhaps, that you have changed your mind about that has made a difference. Darlene talked about, yeah, her mom. She changed her mind about her mom and the way her mom was treating her. And it changed her life. Yeah?
Yes.
Changed her life.
And it also changed our relationship.
And it changed your relationship. Yeah. I'm going to hold my tongue right now and wait for responses. Howard.
Guess who?
Hi.
An attractive blonde a few weeks back gave me a quote: "Run towards something, not away from it."
Thank you.
And when I registered that, I decided, well, I've been putting off this surgery for so long. Maybe I need to aggressively start doing it.
Right.
And it changed my mental attitude completely to where I'm now running towards it in spite of what's up ahead.
Yes. Yes. Great. Great. So we'll be anxious to hear from you when you're back out of the recovery room and back home with Susie, how running toward it made a difference rather than running away. Anybody else? Thanks, Howard. Thanks, Billy.
Did you want me to talk?
I saw you. I thought you were going to unmute yourself.
I have when I was going through my divorce years ago, I was told that I needed to pray for my husband, morning, noon, and not, like I was and I had to pray. I was told I needed to pray for him, asking for things for him, just like for myself. And so I did. I prayed for his health, his wealth, and his happiness, morning and night. And I didn't mean a single word of it. I just didn't, but I did it because I was told to do that. And so I did it. And, it took about 9 months, and that's kind of symbolic, 9 months. And one morning I realized that I meant it, that I really wanted him to be healthy and wealthy and happy. And it was the most freeing thing for me, because I to that point, I didn't mean it. And 9 months is an awful long time.
To not mean it.
So it really made a big difference in my life.
Oh, thank you. Great example. Thanks. Who else? Anybody else?
I guess it's you act the way you want to be, and pretty soon you believe it yourself.
Yes. So Pat said, act the way you want to be. and act the way you want to be, and pretty soon you believe it, which is absolutely true. You can act yourself into almost any frame of mind. Yeah, it's educational theory. You can, the more you act on something, the more you'll believe it. Or you can change your belief and then you'll change your actions. Change your actions and you'll change your beliefs. Yeah, thank you.
I had a little bit of that when, with all the stuff that's been going on in government. And I finally just got to the point that I said, you know, I can't let this keep bothering me like this. And I remembered that Jesus said, forgive them, they know not what they do. And so that's what I've been saying constantly. Now, I'm not saying it's been released completely, but you know, it's a way of me dealing with what's going on.
Yes, and what do you, this is something for all of us to just notice. The shift in our internal energy when something like that happens, when we wish for someone all the good things we wish for ourselves, whether we want to or not, when we act our way into right thinking. Billy, you used the word, I felt so free. What would you say your energy is like, Darlene, when you think about the government, the politics and stuff with, they don't know really what they're doing?
Well, I just allow it to be, and you know, it's not in my hands. I can't change it. If I'm being frustrated all the time with them, that's not really helping me.
Not good for your health.
Really helping them, you know?
No. So when you think about frustration, what kind of energy is that?
Oh, it's negative. It's anger.
It's unsettling, isn't it? Unsettling? Yeah. It's not peaceful.
Right. Not peaceful. And I have a bumper sticker on the back of my car, which I do believe in, but it says, give every right to others that you claim for yourself.
Yes.
And that's the way I really try to live.
What a great bumper sticker. What a great saying.
Can you repeat it, please? Please repeat it.
Yes. Darlene said give. She's a bumper sticker that reads, give every right to others that you want for yourself.
That you claim for yourself.
Oh, cool.
That you claim for yourself. Give every right to others that you claim for yourself. Great.
Perfect.
Susie?
That'd be like the golden rule in general.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
We all lived like that. Wouldn't that be good?
I would like to make a short comment.
Please.
My time in spiritual growth, especially accelerated by my time in unity, has led me to know that thoughts are real things, real energy, as is everything else in the world. And before that, I thought, oh, well, you know, it's just thought. It comes and goes, it's fleeting, and, you know, no consequence to it. And now finding out that it's real, it matters, it goes out into the universe as vibrations and contributes to the whole mass. And that's made a difference to me. I find myself slipping into negativity, and then I have to go, whoa, can you afford that?
Thank you. So Karen was saying thoughts are things, and they do what they are, huh? That's a revelation, isn't it? Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you. Anybody else on this one? Okay. Whoops. Gotta move my pictures. Where am I going to put everybody over here? See how that works. Okay. Whoops. There. So this is something that Eric Butterworth says in the book, our book, on page 9. God can do no more for you than God can do through you. How about that? God can do no more for you than God can do through you. How would you explain that one? I'm all ears.
How about God will work with you, but not for you?
God will work with you, but not for you. Right, we're his employee, he's not ours. Thank you.
I have to be able, this is Jill, I have to be able to receive the goodness that God puts, in my life.
Good one.
And I also have to be willing to give that goodness out to other people. It's, like a circle, the giving and the receiving.
Well said. Well said. So you have to be a good receiver as well as a good giver. Might it be true? I'm not sure. Let's just contemplate this a minute. Might it be true that we have to be good receivers in order to be good givers?
Yeah.
Everyone in the classroom is saying yes. What do you all say? Thumbs up or thumbs down?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, anybody else on how you would, if you were teaching a class on this, what would you say? God can do no more for you than God can do through you. What would you say to a kid, for example?
Susan, can you hear me?
Yes.
Good. I think I might have done it. You have to be open to let God in to work through you. Just that's it. Be open and let him in.
Yes.
Open the door, right?
Open the door of what?
Of your heart.
Good.
Your mind.
Yeah. Open the door of your heart. And Darlene said you have to be willing.
You have to be willing to open yourself to him.
Yes.
To be aware that he's there.
Yes. Be aware that God is within us. And well, has the God of your understanding, your divine guidance, ever guided you to do something you don't want to do?
Yes.
Yes. My ego has, but.
Any comments? Tell me what you think. Has what you understand as God's will, has God's will ever been for you to do something you don't want to do?
God is good.
God is good.
He wouldn't have you do something bad.
Well, that's not what I said though. I didn't say would God have you do something bad. I said, would your understanding of God's will ever be directing you to do something you don't want to do?
Yes.
How about forgiving your mother right away?
This is Kathy. Reverend Billy gave a perfect example. She did not want to pray for her ex-husband, but
Oh, Billy's example, yeah.
yeah.
She did not want to forgive her ex-husband.
She
Pray
wanted
for him. In other words, forgive him. Pray for him every day. She didn't want to do it, but she knew it was the right thing.
This is Billy. I also didn't want to go into ministry. And then it kept coming and coming. And finally I said, okay, then make clear the path. And then, so what I did was surrender and allowed God to work through me to do what was mine to do.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember feeling the same way about going into ministry. I think I actually said to the God of my understanding at that point, this is going to ruin my life.
You gotta be kidding.
You must
Get a
be.
message from God, my reaction is, you gotta be kidding.
Exactly.
What I thought about was, we were talking before about projecting, is that like I can have negative stuff inside of me and then I project it outward. And then when I finally face it, that is true of me, as the other day, there's this heart-to-heart connection that I can have with another person. And I thought about that, how many times, even in the reverse of it, I can see something good in someone else and think, wow, that person has this quality or that quality, you know, I wish I had that too. And before you know it, you know, there it is. So there's a limited amount to what I can see, but then it's like a camera that expands and it gets bigger and bigger, and I start to be able to see things I couldn't see before. That's the definition of a spiritual awakening.
Yes.
Is to be able to see what I couldn't see before.
Yes.
I have millions of those that have happened to me in, you know, in my almost 48 years of recovery. Just millions of those things that I could see that I couldn't see before.
Yeah.
I mean, God is one of those examples, because I wanted nothing to do with God. You know, I blamed God. Where was God when I was hurting? Where was God? You know, so I blamed God. And so I wanted nothing to do with God. But there was this loving God working magic behind the scenes and before you. And I was years into getting blessings on top of blessings and spiritual awakenings on top of, before I could look back, and all of a sudden I could see the hand of God in every one of the things that I had blamed on. You know, I mean, those phenomenal changes, but it's just like what I call the sunlight of the spirit. I could see things that I couldn't see.
Yeah. Great.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Any other? Thank you, Maya.
Glorious moments those are.
Yes, they are. They are. Well, they're freeing, you know, freeing. Anybody else? Nope. Okay, then. So the spiritual pattern is ask, affirm, and give thanks in advance. But when we say ask in unity, in our spirituality, it's really what Jesus said, ask believing. Like, it's not pleading. It's not coming from a lack in any way, or worry or fear or doubt, to the best of our ability. Let me say that. So sometimes I've had to act as if. My faith is not quite there yet, but I'm going to act as if. So I ask believing that in the allness of God, my heart's desire already exists. And this is the short form, by the way. This is the short form. There are lots of things to be doing between asking and affirming, and between affirming and giving thanks. But in affirm, for example, it's about visualizing, it's about meditating, affirming in the form of an affirmation, giving thanks in advance.
Having an open heart.
Pardon?
Being open, giving open heart.
Open heart. Yeah.
Say I want it, but if I'm shut down to the idea, I can just at war with it.
I want it, but Maya was saying, if I can want something, but if I'm at war with myself inside in any way, like I believe, well, maybe this isn't for me, maybe, well, the usual refrains. Now is not a good time, it's too late, I don't have enough money, I don't have enough this and that. Page 23, and were you going to say something? Sig, unmute.
But it's not working. There we
Yeah,
go.
I got you, we got you.
Okay. What I'm trying to say is that's all well and good, but you got to remember that maybe what you ask for will not always come back in the form that you ask for it. And you have to be willing to accept and appreciate and know that it is God's will.
Great. Absolutely true. Absolutely true. Within what you said is that thought that, you know, maybe I am not seeing it all. Maybe I'm misinterpreting God's plan or what God's trying to lead me to. A lot of things go on. So yeah, there is a lot about, even if it doesn't look like it, it might be.
Or
And
divine
then-
order, because a lot of times there are 10 other lessons I need first.
Yes.
Before I can even be open or understand, you know.
Yeah.
Seek and do God's will, but then, you know, I can slow down the process
With my I don't want to.
Yes. That's,
And
Yes.
then count it all as a blessing.
Say that again, Sig.
Then count it all as a blessing.
Count it all as a blessing. Brilliant. Brilliant. Yeah, see the good. I think Fillmore said that. I can't remember which book, Billy, but if you will start right now, something like this, if you will start right now to see the good in everything and affirm it, pretty soon, good will be coming your way. We'll get the blessing. Thanks, Sig. Who else? Anybody else on this notion? No? Going. All right, one more slide. Eileen, were you going to say something?
Judy was,
No.
but she was afraid.
I'm not afraid.
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
This asking and receiving business, I had a major one. Eileen won't mind me telling this story. I was in this group and someone was giving ideas about what would happen to you. And I had been by myself for a couple of years and I was enjoying that and whatever. And I was at this conference and this person came up and they said, you're going to only be by yourself for another 6 months. And you'll be surprised at the package that it comes in. And I said, oh, and I went through a whole list of guys that I knew and I thought, nothing came to mind. And so I went on several things that I was doing and I went back home. And sure enough, in 6 months or so, who shows up but a little Mormon girl, blonde Mormon girl, and it was like, wow, like that.
Would that be you, Eileen? Wow.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not the package she thought it was going to come in.
Absolutely not the package.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
So,
but you accepted the package.
I did, and I've accepted it for almost 33 years now.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yes, very, very different, very different. A lot of learning through it, and here we are at Unity.
33 years later, wow, fabulous. Congratulations. 33 years. Whew. Okay. Let's try to close on this guy right here. One thing that economists agree on is that business conditions always tend to reflect the level of confidence of the people. So Butterworth is talking about prosperity, of course, spiritual economics, and saying that the economists agree on the fact that how the economy is doing reflects the level of confidence of the people in the economy. Now, if you translate that into the metaphysical perspective on prosperity, spiritual economists agree that spiritual conditions or life conditions always tend to reflect the level of confidence or faith of the person. Is that true? Yabba dabba do. Is that true or no? I don't know if I can say it again.
Sharon, this is Howard.
Hi.
Yes, I believe that it's true, but not just for business conditions and an economist's point of view. You know, look at the situation going on with the rioting now. The confidence of the people to the police force is being reflected by their activities. It's everything in society. If the people don't have the confidence in it, then it isn't going to result in anything positive.
True. True. Thank you. Anybody else? Okay, I am going to, whoops, I didn't mean that. I didn't mean that. So we're going to close for today. Thank you for coming, Kat. But I want to just check in with you all before our closing prayer. Just pause for a moment and reflect on everything that's been said, everything you've heard. And what is your takeaway for today? What has been maybe caused a shift, is most helpful? What will support you as you go back into your regular life? Thanks, Jody.
I want to just be aware of that consciousness level within me and just stay connected as everything comes to me. I've really enjoyed this class today. I've enjoyed everyone, and it's a lot of thoughts that I love. So I'm just going to embrace them and practice them.
Thank you, Jody. Who else? Closing thoughts, takeaway? Thank you, Billy.
This is Billy. And I love that. I can't remember who said it, but I love that comb your own hair. Was that you? Yeah, there's it. Anyway, because I can use that if I choose to watch the news. You know, I think that's a really good thing, a practical thing for me to use. So I'm really grateful for that. And I'm grateful for all of you. It's good to see you.
Thank you, Billy. Thank you. Anybody else?
I'm grateful for the class because it helps me refocus.
Great. Helps you refocus. Great. Thank you.
It's a reminder of things that we talked about today that sometimes I forget, and I truly believe it.
Great. So Pat was saying today helped her remember some things that were there, and she believes just not at the forefront of her mind.
Right.
Thank you. Yeah. Anybody else? Okay then. Well, I wonder if I'll see you next week, same time. And Kathy, would you like to pray us out? Oh, she's going to come in the other room.
We're going to make sure this is shut down right at the end.
Do you need to sit here, love?
No, I just want to get closer to the speaker.
Okay. Kathy's going to pray us out.
So I'll take a deep breath and relax in the presence of God, having been here with us in this wonderful class and
So we thank God for Eric Butterworth and his wisdom. We thank God for Reverend Sharon and her wisdom and her brightness. And we thank God for this whole community that's joined in this class today. We thank God for the wonderful lessons that we've learned, and we know that we're going to be able to incorporate these lessons into our lives, and that will just bring us closer to all the good and the wonder that God has intended for us and that we really want. So we'll go forward with these wonderful lessons and let them percolate in our heart, and thank God that we have unity to teach us in the powerful and loving name and presence of the Christ Spirit within us.
Amen. What a great chaplain you are. Good job.